In a far-off countryside, where big trees grow and animals roam free, there lived 5 friends. Their names were Raj, Amit, Vijay, Sanjay, and Deepak. They all loved to cook and eat tasty food. One day, Raj had a big idea. He said to his friends, "Let's go into the forest and cook something really special." The others thought it sounded fun. "What should we cook?" asked Amit. Raj smiled and said, "I heard about a big bird called an ostrich. It's not from India, but someone brought one to the zoo in the big city. The zoo has too many ostriches now, so they're giving one away. I asked if we could have it, and they said yes." The friends were very excited. They had never seen an ostrich before, let alone cooked one. "How will we get such a big bird here?" Vijay wondered. "The zoo people will bring it to the edge of our village," Raj explained. "We just need to meet them there and take it to the forest." So the 5 friends started to get ready for their big cooking adventure. They packed lots of things they would need. Number 1, big pots and pans. Number 2, sharp knives. Number 3, spices like salt, pepper, turmeric, and chili powder. Number 4, vegetables like onions, tomatoes, and potatoes. Number 5, rice and flour. Number 6, matches to make a fire. Number 7, big bottles of water. The next morning, they all met at the edge of the village. The zoo truck was already there with the ostrich. It was huge. The bird was as tall as 2 men standing on top of each other. "Wow," said Sanjay. "That's the biggest bird I've ever seen." The zoo people helped them put the ostrich in a big cart. Then the 5 friends started pulling the cart towards the forest. It was hard work pulling the heavy cart. They had to stop many times to rest. Deepak, who was the funny one in the group, kept making jokes to keep everyone happy. "Hey guys," he said, "why did the ostrich cross the road? To prove to the possum it could be done." Everyone laughed, even though they didn't know what a possum was. After walking for a long time, they finally reached a nice spot in the forest. There was a small river nearby and a big open area where they could cook. "This looks perfect," said Raj. "Let's start getting everything ready." First, they had to prepare the ostrich. This was a big job because the bird was so large. Amit, who was good with knives, took charge of this part. "We need to remove the feathers first," he said. So they all started plucking the ostrich. It took a long time because there were so many feathers. By the time they finished, they were covered in feathers and looked very funny. "We look like ostriches now," laughed Deepak, making everyone smile. Next, they had to cut up the ostrich. This was hard work, and they all helped. They cut the meat into big pieces. "Now we need to make a fire," said Vijay. He was good at making fires because he often cooked for his large family. They all helped gather wood. Soon, Vijay had a big fire going. They put a large pot filled with water over the fire to boil. While the water was heating up, Sanjay started preparing the spices. He mixed salt, pepper, turmeric, and chili powder in a bowl. "This will make the ostrich taste very good," he said. When the water was boiling, they put the ostrich meat in the pot. They also added the spices that Sanjay had mixed. "Now we wait," said Raj. "It will take a long time to cook because the ostrich is so big." While they waited, they decided to prepare some other things to eat with the ostrich. Amit and Deepak started cutting up the vegetables they had brought. Vijay began making dough for rotis, flat bread. He mixed flour with water and a little oil. Sanjay put another pot on the fire to cook rice. As they worked, they talked and laughed. They were having a lot of fun cooking together in the forest. "I wonder what ostrich tastes like," said Deepak. "I bet it tastes like chicken," said Amit. "Everything tastes like chicken." They all laughed at this joke. The smell of the cooking ostrich started to fill the air. It smelled very good, and it made them all feel hungry. "I can't wait to eat it," said Raj, looking at the big pot. As the sun began to set, the forest around them got darker. The fire gave a warm orange light that made everything look cozy. Finally, after many hours of cooking, Raj checked the ostrich meat. "I think it's ready," he said excitedly. They all gathered around as Raj carefully lifted the lid of the big pot. Steam rose up, carrying the delicious smell of cooked ostrich and spices. Using a big spoon, Raj took out a piece of meat and cut it to check if it was fully cooked. It was perfect. tender and juicy. "It's ready, friends," he announced happily. "Let's eat." They all cheered. Their long day of hard work was about to pay off with a delicious meal. Raj started to serve the ostrich meat onto large banana leaves they had collected from the forest. The leaves served as natural plates, a common practice in their countryside. The aroma of the cooked ostrich filled the air, making everyone's mouths water. "Wait," Sanjay called out, just as they were about to start eating. "We forgot to make the special sauce." Sanjay was known in their village for his tasty sauces. He quickly got to work, mixing some of the ostrich broth with crushed garlic, ginger, and a secret blend of spices he always carried with him. While Sanjay prepared the sauce, Vijay finished cooking the rotis on a flat stone he had heated in the fire. The bread was golden brown and puffy, perfect for scooping up the ostrich meat. Amit and Deepak set out the rice and the vegetables they had prepared earlier. They had made a simple salad of chopped tomatoes, onions, and cucumbers, seasoned with a pinch of salt and a squeeze of lemon. Finally, everything was ready. The 5 friends sat in a circle around the fire, the feast spread out before them. The flickering flames cast dancing shadows on their faces, adding to the excitement of the moment. "Before we eat," Raj said, "let's take a moment to thank nature for this meal and to appreciate our friendship that made this adventure possible." They all nodded in agreement, closing their eyes for a brief moment of gratitude. Then, at last, they dug in. The ostrich meat was tender and flavorful, unlike anything they had tasted before. It wasn't quite like chicken, as Amit had joked earlier. It had a richer, slightly sweet taste that went perfectly with Sanjay's spicy sauce. "This is amazing!" Deepak exclaimed, his mouth full of ostrich and roti. "It's so tender," Vijay agreed, reaching for another piece. "And the sauce is perfect, Sanjay." Sanjay beamed with pride. "The secret is in the balance of spices," he said, "and using the ostrich broth gives it an extra depth of flavor." As they ate, they talked about their day and the challenges they had faced in preparing this unusual meal. "Remember when we were trying to pluck the feathers?" Amit laughed. "I thought it would never end." "And when Deepak tripped and fell into the pile of feathers?" Vijay added, causing everyone to burst into laughter at the memory. Deepak pretended to look offended, but he was laughing too. "Well, at least I provided some entertainment," he said, grinning. As the night wore on, they continued to eat and chat. The forest around them came alive with the sounds of nocturnal animals. Owls hooted in the distance, and they could hear the rustle of small creatures in the underbrush. "It's so peaceful out here," Raj said, looking up at the stars that were now visible through the tree canopy. "We should do this more often." The others agreed enthusiastically. There was something special about cooking and eating together in the wilderness, away from the bustle of their village life.